that one little mistake you made and caused you to beat yourself up the rest of your life. There are a lot of folks that are in a loaded bar state because the enemy has had them beating up on themselves for something you did 10 and 5 years ago. Now here's the killer. You still holding on to anger and hurt from what somebody else did to you 10 years ago. Baby, it's time to grow up and get over it. Because while you sitting here holding on to it, they going on with their life. You the one sitting here being miserable and they going on being happy. Lord, I'm trying to quit here. While you sitting here worrying about why the man left you, he going on to the next woman and the next one and the next one and the next one after that. You got to realize, well, if he gone, so be it. Me and the Lord will raise these children by where my single mamas at. Because y'all don't believe that God will give you single mamas the strength to raise these boys by yourself. Y'all ain't talking it. You don't need Billy to come in your house to spend no night. Get your butt out of here. I don't need nobody to sneak in through my back door. Y'all ain't gonna talk here. I don't need no midnight fix. Y'all ain't gonna talk to me here. What I need God. Bunch of midnight wonders. Y'all ain't gonna talk to me here. Let me get out of here. So the Lord says here, he says that we must now walk through the valley. In other words, what God is saying is that when you begin to understand that this valley experience is only your way of process into your destined place. And the Lord told me to tell all the way over here at Temple of Refuge, the Lord said that now that you have come to the end of the valley experience. Can I preach this for a little while? He said that now that you have come to the end of the valley experience, now you're getting ready to experience that of the mountaintop. See, what you got to understand is many times when we think we're on a mountain, we're really on a hill. Y'all don't like this shit. You got to not confuse the hill with the mountain, because now the hill lies between and stand in a valley lies between two hills. But when you come to that peak and you come to the base of the mountain, you now know that you are at the end of the valley, because there are no more hills. Now there is a mountain to climb. And the thing I like about the mountain is even though folks looking for you to climb it, but because by my faith I can speak to the mountain and tell the mountain now to move. I ain't talking about going to the Rocky Mountain telling the mountains to move. I'm talking about in your life. Y'all ain't talking. I'm talking about you telling those obstacles in your life that now is the time that I must tell every demon in hell to move out of my way. You got to understand that we are now, help me preach, that we are now in a season in our lives where God would have us to tell all negative and oppositions to get out of our way. And what God is saying, Apostle, that in this season and in this time now, you've spoken it before. It is not the idea that I did not hear you, but I did you just as I did Daniel. I had to hear you, and I heard you from the first day. But what happened is the enemy caused the opposition. God, you got to understand that the devil is not after your prayer. Y'all ain't talking. He's not after your prayer life. You must understand that the devil did not stop Daniel's prayer from going to God, but he stopped the answer from reaching Daniel. You got to understand the enemy is after your will of God. The enemy is after the will of God over your life. The enemy is after the answer. But God says, I'm releasing the answer. You ought to tell somebody, get ready to experience the answer. Get ready to hear from God. I said, get ready to hear from God. And the only way I could hear from God is I had to go through the valley. And while I thought I was alone in the valley, but the Bible said the shadows of death. What that means is that death is present, but death is in the form of a shadow. You cannot be afraid of the illusions in your life. You cannot be afraid of what is not there.